During the Philistine rule, there was a man from the tribe of Dan named Manoah. His wife was unable to have children. One day, an angel of the Lord appeared to Manoah's wife.
Even though you have been unable to have children, you will soon become pregnant and give birth to a son. So be careful. You must not eat any grapes or drink any wine or any other alcoholic drink, nor eat any forbidden food. You will become pregnant and give birth to a son, and his hair must never be cut, for he will be dedicated to God as a Nazirite from birth. He will begin to rescue Israel from the Philistines.
Manoah, come here!
Are you the man who spoke to my wife the other day?
Yes, I am.
When your words come true, what kind of rule should govern the boy's life and work?
Be sure your wife follows the instructions I gave her.
Please stay here until we can prepare a young goat for you to eat.
I will stay, but I will not eat anything. However, you may prepare a burnt offering as a sacrifice to the Lord.
What is your name? For when all of this comes true, we want to honor you.
Why do you ask my name? It is too wonderful for you to understand.
Then Manoah took a young goat and offered it to the Lord. As the flames from the altar shot up toward the sky, the angel of the Lord ascended in the fire.
We will certainly die, for we have seen God.
If the Lord were going to kill us, he wouldn't have accepted our offering.
When her son was born, she named him Samson, and the Lord blessed him as he grew up. One day, when Samson was in Timnah, one of the Philistine women caught his eye.
I saw a girl in Timnah. I want to marry her. Get her for me.
Why must you go to the pagan Philistines to find a wife?
Get her for me. She looks good to me.
As Samson and his parents were going down to Timnah, a young lion suddenly attacked Samson.
Never! You can't eat me!
Later, when he returned to Timnah for the wedding, he turned off the path to look at the carcass of the lion, and he found that a swarm of bees had made some honey in the carcass. He scooped some of the honey into his hands and ate it along the way. He also gave some to his father and mother. Then they prepared for the wedding.
Hey everyone, let me tell you a riddle. If you solve my riddle during these 7 days of the celebration, I will give you 30 fine linen robes and 30 sets of festive clothing. But if you can't solve it, then you must give me 30 fine linen robes and 30 sets of festive clothing.
All right, let's hear your riddle.
Out of the one who eats came something to eat. Out of the strong came something sweet.
Entice your husband to explain the riddle for us, or we will burn down your father's house with you in it.
Did you invite us just to this party to make us poor?
You don't love me. You hate me. You have given my people a riddle, but you haven't told me the answer.
I haven't even given the answer to my father or mother. Why should I tell you?
So she cried whenever she was with him, and kept it up for the rest of the celebration. So before sunset on the seventh day, they came to him.
What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?
You hadn't plowed with my heifer. You wouldn't have solved the riddle.
And the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, and he went down to the town of Ashkelon.
Oh!
But Samson was furious about what had happened, and he went back home to live with his father and mother.
I'm going to go to my wife's room, and I'm going to sleep with her.
I truly thought you must hate her, so I gave her in marriage to your best man. But look, her younger sister is even more beautiful than she is. Marry her instead.
This time, I cannot be blamed for everything I am going to do to you Philistines.
Who did this?
Samson, because his father-in-law from Timnah gave Samson's wife to be married to his best man.
So the Philistines went and got the woman and her father, and burned them to death.
Because you did this, I won't rest until I take my revenge on you.
So he attacked the Philistines with great fury, and killed many of them.
Ooh! Ooh!
Then he went to live in a cave in the rock of Etam. Don't you realize the Philistines rule over us?
I only did to them what they did to me.
We have come to tie you up and hand you to the Philistines.
All right, but promise me that you won't kill me yourselves.
We will only tie you up and hand you to the Philistines. We won't kill you.
Ooh!
The jawbone of a donkey, I've piled them in heaps. With the jawbone of a donkey, I've killed 1,000 men. You have accomplished this great victory by the strength of your servant. Must I now die of thirst and fall into the hands of the pagans?
One day, Samson went to the Philistine town of Gaza, and spent the night there with a prostitute.
Samson's here, in Gaza!
What should we do? When the light of morning comes, we will kill him.
Yes! Yeah!
When will he be here?
Don't worry, he'll come.
But Samson stayed in bed only until midnight. Then he got up.
What was that? He's here! Go, go,
Hurry up,
go, go!
kill him!
Oh dear, it seems the water's collapsed.
Bring out the weapon!
And fire!
He carried the gates with him to the top of the hill across from Hebron.
Ah, someone help me!
Sometime later, Samson fell in love with a woman named Delilah. She lived in the valley of Sorek.
Entice Samson to tell you what makes him so strong, and how he can be overpowered and tied up securely. Then each of us will give you 1,100 pieces of silver.
Please tell me what makes you so strong, and what it would take to tie you up securely.
If I were tied up with 7 new bowstrings that have not yet been dried, I would become as weak as anyone else.
Some men were hidden in her house.
Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you. You've been making fun of me and telling me lies. Now please tell me how you can be tied up securely.
If I were tied up with brand new ropes that had never been used, I would become as weak as anyone else.
Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you. You've been making fun of me and telling me lies. Now please tell me how you can be tied up securely.
If you were to weave the 7 braids of my hair into the fabric on your loom and tighten it with the loom shuttle, I would become as weak as anyone else.
Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you. How can you tell me I love you when you don't share your secrets with me? You've made fun of me 3 times now, and you still haven't told me what makes you so strong.
My hair has never been cut, for I was dedicated to God as a Nazarite from birth. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me, and I would become as weak as anyone else.
Come back one more time, for he has finally told me his secret.
The Philistine rulers returned with the money in their hands.
Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you.
The Philistines captured him and gouged out his eyes. They then took him to Gaza, where he was bound with bronze chains and forced to grind grain in a prison. But before long, his hair began to grow back. The Philistine rulers held a great festival, offering sacrifices and praising their god, Dagon.
Our God has delivered our enemy to us. The one who has killed so many of us is now in our power.
Bring out Samson so he can amuse us.
They had him stand between the pillars supporting the roof.
Place my hands against the pillars that hold up the temple. I want to rest against them. Sovereign Lord, remember me again. Oh God, please strengthen me just one more time. With one blow, let me pay back the Philistines for the loss of my 2 eyes.
And the temple crashed down on the Philistine rulers and all the people, so he killed more people when he died than he had during his entire lifetime.
Hey there, Delilah, this is your ex-boyfriend Samson, and I know you thought that lifting weights made me so buff and handsome. You were wrong. It's 'cause I let my hair grow long that makes me strong. Hey there, Delilah, you came in while I was sleeping, and I couldn't feel you cutting, and I didn't hear you creeping out the door. You left my hair piled on the floor while I just snored. Oh, what you do